Hey folks, Kevin Lucia from Into the Abyss. So, a lot of you probably don't know, maybe a few of you do, but a lot of you probably don't know that I had foot surgery this summer. It was non-weight bearing for 12 weeks. It's a really long time to be non-weight bearing over the summer. So needless to say, I watched a lot of movies. A lot of movies, like a lot of movies, like maybe 50 or 60 movies. I don't know. I kind of lost track after the first 2 weeks. Anyway, though, I have a list of some of the best movies I enjoyed this summer. I'm going to call them Kevin's recovery movies. These are movies that I streamed while I was sitting in a chair with my foot propped up, icing it, recovering from surgery. Now, these are the best of the ones I've watched. I probably at some point will offer a list of the worst ones that I watched. Okay, so the first is going to be Yellow Brick Road. This is a really super trippy movie that's right up there with Midsummer, I think. Not necessarily the same topic, but in like terms of making you feel uneasy and uncomfortable. Basically, long story short, way back in the 40s or 50s, this entire town, with their whole population, just gets up and leaves, vanishes, disappears. So you've got this documentary crew who's going to follow in their footsteps. Needless to say, the more they follow in their footsteps, the crazier things get. So Yellow Brick Road. Vivarium, also with Imogen Potts and good old Jesse. I can't remember his last name. Is that killing me or what? Jesse. Yeah, I can't remember Jesse's. Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg. Sorry. So Vivarium's a really creepy, story about, living in a suburban hell where everything's the same and living this prepackaged life until you die. It's a really great, really freaky movie. The next one would be After Midnight. This is a great creature feature done by the guys who were responsible for the End List and Resolution. And again, it's a creature feature, but it's about so much more. It's about marriage and relationships, and definitely got to check out After Midnight. Come to Daddy with Elijah Wood. Whatever you think this movie is about, you're probably wrong. And it is weird and creepy and somehow heartfelt all at the same time. Come to Daddy. Session 9. Haunted Asylum, a group that's, a group of cleaners. The lead guy needs to get a big job done to save his business. So they promise to clean this empty asylum out, by the end of the week, starring David Caruso. Again, it's one of those nice equivocal gothics, because we're really not sure left at the end of this movie whether it was supernatural or just with mass hysteria. Demon Wind. Demon Wind is everything nuts and crazy and wonderful about 80s horror all in one movie. Like, all in one movie is just Demon Wind. You gotta go check that out. Dolls. Dolls is another great 90s horror film where, you gotta love movies like that where it's kind of a classic scenario. The people who deserve to get offed, get offed. The people that are good end up surviving. And it's funny because it's a horror film that's got some heart to it. So Dolls, the 90s version, because there's a more recent version that I have not seen. So Dolls from the 90s. Minutes Past Midnight. This is again a really nice anthology film. With it's got everything from like weird body horror to tense atmospheric to even a wonderful Lovecraftian gothic animated film with like stop motion puppets. It was really good. So Minutes Past Midnight. Deep Dark. I'm not sure what to say about this except it's an evil supernatural hole in a wall that offers artistic inspiration, like a muse. This guy is desperate to become an artist. He's told to move into this apartment. I think it's by a relative or an uncle who had suddenly got big in the arts. So he moves in there, and this magical hole gives him inspiration. But it requires something in return. A relationship of sorts. So I guess you can kind of imagine where that's going, because the hole in the wall would at some point like to consummate the relationship, and it gets jealous too. Okay, but so it is weird, but it's actually a pretty good film, even with those weird undertones. And the last, that's Deep Dark. And the last one is Brain Dead. Again, another great 90s film. Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman. Again, it's funny how I look back to some of these 80s films where I used to see the VHSs in the video store, and I grew up in a moderately conservative family, so I really just wasn't watching a lot of horror. You look at the cover and you're like, oh my gosh, this must be like, it's just wonderfully striking, almost poignant movie, Brain Dead is. So you definitely got to pick those up. So those are 10 of my favorite recovery movies from my surgery this summer. They're all on a mix of places: Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Vudu. So go check those out now.